Have you ever wondered why almost every civilization has developed some form of religion? My name is Nai Thao, and welcome to ZeroDay Learner. I was born Hmong and came to the United States in 1991. Throughout my life, I have encountered different beliefs, including Hmong traditions, Christianity, Buddhism, and others. Yet I have never felt that I completely belong to any one religion. This channel is not about proving one religion right or wrong. It is about asking honest questions. In this first episode, we explore one of humanity's oldest questions. Why do humans need religion? Together, we'll examine different perspectives, reflect on our own experiences, and ask whether our beliefs are simply reflections of ourselves, or whether they point to something deeper. I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm learning alongside you. If you enjoy thoughtful conversations about religion, philosophy, history, and what it means to be human, I invite you to subscribe and join me on this journey. Thank you for watching. Nai Thao, ZeroDay Learner. Episode 1. Why do humans need religion? Have you ever wondered why nearly every civilization in history has created some form of religion? Why do humans pray? Why do we build temples, churches, mosques, shrines, and sacred places? Why do we tell stories about life after death? These questions have stayed with me for many years. My name is Nai Thao, and this is ZeroDay Learner. I was born Hmong and came to the United States in 1991. Growing up, I experienced different traditions and different beliefs. I learned about Hmong customs. I learned about Christianity. I learned a little about Buddhism and other religions, but I never felt that I completely belonged to any one of them. Instead of choosing one answer, I found myself collecting questions. One question has stayed with me more than any other. Why do humans believe? Is religion something given to us by God? Is it something created by human culture? Or is it something in between? When I look across different religions, I notice that many of them ask similar questions. Where do we come from? Why do we suffer? What happens after we die? How should we treat one another? Although the answers are different, the questions seem remarkably similar. Sometimes I imagine religion as a mirror. When we look into a mirror, we don't just see the mirror. We see ourselves. Perhaps every religion reflects something about the people who created it. Their fears, their hopes, their search for meaning. But then another question appears. If religion is a mirror, what, if anything, exists behind the mirror? Could there be a reality that every religion is trying to describe from a different point of view? Or are these reflections simply part of human nature? I don't know, and that's okay. This channel isn't about proving anyone wrong. It isn't about attacking religion. It's about slowing down, asking honest questions, and learning together. In future episodes, we'll explore why Hmong funerals include animal sacrifices, why Christians practice baptism, why people pray, what different religions say about death, and many other questions that have shaped humanity for thousands of years. You don't have to agree with me. You don't even have to believe what I believe. All I ask is that we stay curious, because sometimes the most meaningful journey begins not with an answer, but with a question. Thank you for watching. This is ZeroDay Learner. I'll see you in the next episode. Episode 1, Part 2. Why do humans need religion? Welcome back. In the first part of this series, I shared a little about myself and asked a simple question. Why do humans need religion? Today, I'd like to take that question one step further. If human beings ask many of the same questions, why do religions give different answers? For example, in my own Hmong culture, funerals can last several days. There are ceremonies, music, prayers, and, in many families, animal sacrifices. As a child, I saw these traditions, but I didn't always understand them. As I grew older, I began asking why our ancestors believed these rituals were so important. Were the sacrifices meant to honor loved ones, help guide a spirit, or strengthen the bond between the living and the dead. When I learned about Christianity, I encountered another question. Why do many Christians practice baptism? Some believe baptism is an outward sign of an inward faith. Others see it as an act of obedience to Jesus. Still others consider it deeply connected to entering the Christian community. Although Christians differ in their beliefs about baptism, they generally agree that it carries deep spiritual meaning. Then I heard something that stayed with me about Buddhism. Many forms of Buddhism teach that suffering is a universal part of human life. Instead of asking us to believe in a creator God, Buddhism often asks us to understand our own minds. It teaches that by changing how we relate to desire, attachment, and ignorance, we can move toward greater peace and freedom from suffering. These ideas are different from one another, yet each one seems to be trying to answer the same human questions. How should we live? Why do we suffer? What happens when we die? How do we find peace? As I listened to these different traditions, I noticed something interesting. Although their answers were different, the people who followed them often shared the same hopes. They wanted to protect their families. They wanted comfort when someone died. They wanted meaning in difficult times. They wanted hope that life has a purpose. That made me wonder whether religion is, in part, a reflection of the human heart. Perhaps every culture looks at the mysteries of life through its own experiences, language, history, and traditions. If that's true, then each religion may reflect something beautiful about the people who practice it. But another question follows. If religions are mirrors, are they reflecting only ourselves? Or could they also be reflecting something real that is beyond us? I don't know the answer. That's why I started ZeroDay Learner. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to learn with you. In the next part, we'll explore one final question. If religions are mirrors, what might exist behind the mirror? Could nature itself be enough? Could there be one truth that many religions describe in different ways? Or are we simply human beings trying our best to understand a very mysterious universe? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think religion is really for? If you enjoy exploring these questions with me, please subscribe to ZeroDay Learner. I'll be grateful to have you join me as we continue asking honest questions together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Part 3. Episode 1, Part 3. If religions are mirrors, what might be behind the mirror? Hello, and welcome back. Again, my name is Nai Thao, and this is ZeroDay Learner. In Part 1, we asked why human beings have religion. In Part 2, we explored why different religions often give different answers to the same questions. Today, I'd like to ask what may be the most difficult question of all. If religions are mirrors, what might exist behind the mirror? Some people believe there's one God. Others believe there are many paths to the same truth. Some believe that nature itself is enough. Others believe that the universe has no higher purpose beyond what we create for ourselves. I don't know which answer is correct, but I do know that every generation has asked these questions. Perhaps that tells us something important. Maybe the search itself is part of being human. As I look back on my own life, I think about the traditions I inherited as a Hmong person. I respect my ancestors. They lived through hardships that I can hardly imagine, and they created traditions that gave meaning, comfort, and a sense of belonging to their communities. At the same time, I also ask whether every tradition should remain the same forever. For example, Hmong funerals can involve many rituals and, in some families, animal sacrifices. These traditions carry deep meaning for many people, but they can also be expensive and emotionally demanding. Personally, I hope my own funeral will be simple. I've already written instructions for my family. My wish is that one person can carry out my final arrangements without placing a heavy burden on those I love. That choice is not a rejection of my ancestors. It is simply the path that feels right for me. I believe we can honor those who came before us while also asking whether some traditions can evolve with compassion and wisdom. As I learn about other religions, I find similar questions. Why is baptism important to many Christians? Why do many forms of Buddhism teach a path toward freedom from suffering? Why do Muslims pray at specific times each day? Why do Hindus speak of karma and rebirth? Each tradition offers its own answers. My goal is not to decide which one wins. My goal is to understand why these answers matter to the people who believe them. Perhaps religions are like different windows looking toward the same horizon. Or perhaps they are different mirrors reflecting the hopes, fears, and dreams of humanity. I don't yet know, and that's why this channel exists. Together, we'll explore history, philosophy, religious traditions, and the questions that have followed humanity for thousands of years. Sometimes we may find answers. Sometimes we'll discover better questions. Either way, I hope we'll become a little wiser, a little kinder, and a little more understanding of one another. Thank you for spending this time with me. If these conversations interest you, please subscribe to ZeroDay Learner and join me on this journey of learning. I'm Nai Thao. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep listening, and never stop learning.